Welcome back to another episode of the DFS Express presented by Loudmouth MMA and MMAtoday.com. I am your host, the Daily Fantasy Sniper, here to talk UFC on Fox 27 from Charlotte, North Carolina. The main event is Jacare Souza against Derek Brunson in a rematch of a fight from their Strikeforce days. If this is your first time watching or listening to the DFS Express, I'm going to run through every fight, a quick breakdown, and then a DraftKings specific pick. So not always who I think is going to win the fight, but who is the better play based on the DraftKings pricing. Before we get into the fights, please give me a follow on Twitter at the DFS Sniper and subscribe to my YouTube page at the DFS Sniper. Should be right where you're watching. If you're watching this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. If you're listening on the Loudmouth MMA network, please give us a 5-star review and subscribe as well. With that being said, let's get into the fights. Jacare Souza, 8,400. Derek Brunson is 7,800. I'm going to take Brunson in the rematch. I know he lost the first matchup. He was knocked out by Jacare. Both fighters have lost to Robert Whitaker. Derek Brunson most recently knocked out Lyoto Machida in the first round. Not a lot to say about that. But really what I see this fight coming down to is Jacare Souza. He's 38 years old. He's on the decline. I have a hard time trusting those guys on the decline, post-USADA. It's just he's clearly slowed down. And that's going to be a problem against Brunson. I think Brunson is able to, his striking has definitely gotten better since their first fight. At worst, has stayed on par. His quickness is there. I think Jacare has slowed down enough. I think this fight, again, Brunson is going to try and push an early pace. Obviously, doesn't want to get sucked into a grapple match against Souza. And just the accumulation of damage over Souza's career and the speed, I think Brunson's able to get this one done pretty quickly. I think you could stack this fight in cash because if Brunson doesn't get a quick finish, Souza probably gets the fight down later and can grapple his way to a win. I think Brunson gets the finish, though. He's my preferred play. I'll take Derek Brunson at 7,800. The co-main event is Dennis the Menace Bermudez, 8,600 against Andre Touchy-Fili, 7,600. A lot of people are on Fili. He's going to be one of the more popular plays, underdog plays. And that's really kind of the tiebreaker in this fight. I think Bermudez is going to win. You could argue that Fili's a better DraftKings play, even though he's cheaper. But Fili's going to be so popular, especially in tournaments. I'm probably going to not have a whole lot of exposure there. Fili really can't stop a takedown. He took down Artem Lobov 5 times. I'm going to go past that. I'll move past all the GOAT jokes. Fili has shown he can't stop a takedown. He was taken down by Hakran Diaz and a bunch of other guys. I can run through the list. Dennis Bermudez is a D1 wrestler. I know he hasn't looked great recently, and he can be chinny. I think he gets this one down, and he's able to grind out a decision on Fili. I'm not overly confident, but again, with all the ownership going towards Fili, especially in tournaments, Bermudez is my preferred play at 8,600. Gregor Gillespie, 9,500. Jordan Rinaldi, 6,700. This just comes down to can you fit in Gregor Gillespie, undefeated in the UFC. He's going to have some issues moving forward. This fight isn't one of them. I think he's able to ragdoll Rinaldi. It's can you fit him, and he's going to pay off his price tag. I think he's almost a lock in cash. If you can fit him, absolutely play him. You should probably find a way to get him in if you're struggling right now. Gregor Gillespie, 9,500, should get a ton of takedowns, has the style to pay off that price tag in DraftKings. He's the preferred play. Drew Dober, 8,900. Frank Camacho, 7,300. When Frank Camacho's in a fight, it has been fun. Fight of the night performances against Li Jinglong and Damian Brown. He's going to have a bit of an issue here against Drew Dober, though, because Dober is a big guy, kickboxing style, stand outside and strike. I think Camacho could have success with the takedowns if he goes that route, but Dober has shown some improvements. I just don't think Frank Camacho is going to do that. I think he likes to be in these firefights, and Dober's more technical in them. Camacho's certainly live, especially as a tournament play, because he has big power, and I think he's going to be able to draw Dober into a firefight in this one. But Dober, that Muay Thai background, is super technical. He's my pick here, and the preferred play at 8,900. Bobby Green, 8,500. Eric Koch, 7,700. I am probably one of the few people on Eric Koch in this one. Bobby Green drew Lando Venata last time out. He should have been knocked out in the first round. That could have been stopped. Eventually, Venata threw a knee while he was down. He got a chance to recover. Should have been 4 straight losses. Koch lost to Guida. He was grinded out. Bobby Green's not going to do that. I'm worried about Green's chin. When Koch's in a stand-up fight, he fares just fine. I like Eric Koch at 7,700, especially in a card where there's not a ton of dogs I think can win. Koch is one of them. Mirsad Bektik, 9,400. Godofredo Pepe at 6,800. Bektik, you remember, was a victim of the comeback of the year against Darren Elkins last time out. Pepe, 6,800. He's live because he's an all-or-nothing guy. He's going to throw up submissions when he gets taken down by Bektik or swing wildly on the feet because his striking is not good. He just goes all or nothing. I think Bektik gets him down, gets back on the winning track here. 9,400 is going to be hard to pay for, and I'd probably prefer Gillespie, but he is the preferred play at 9,400. Caitlin Chukagian, 8,700. Mara Romero Barella at 7,500. Romero Barella surprised me last time against Faria. Faria's ground game is much worse than I thought, and Romero Barella was able to capitalize. Chukagian, though, is going to present issues. I think she's going to be a little bigger than Barella, has better striking for sure. I think is able to out-volume Barella and stop the takedowns. I think she's good enough takedown defense to stop them. The overall worry in this fight is the scoring. I don't think either fighter is going to score very highly. I'm going to lean towards Chukagian at 8,700 because I think she wins the fight. Barella, if she wins, it could be grappling based. I'm having a hard time seeing it. I think Chukagian really wins this decision. I don't think either one of them are a super strong DraftKings play, but I'll lean towards Chukagian at 8,700 as the preferred option. Randa Marcos, 8,800. Juliana Lima, 7,400. This is a fight that plays right into the preface I put at the beginning of every episode. I'm picking Randa Marcos to win this fight at 8,800. I bet the over in this fight. I think neither one have great striking. They're both okay grapplers. I think Lima, she is getting older and could be on the decline. I just don't think Marcos is any good. Has got a favorable decision in her past. I think Marcos wins. I think she's a little better all around, but Juliana Lima at 7,400 is the preferred DraftKings play because both of them are going to have a hard time paying off their salary. Lima should do that in a win, so she's my preferred play at 7,400, even though I'm giving a small lean towards Marcos in the pick'em. Justine Kish, 9,200. Ji Yeon Kim, 7,000. Another women's fight and another situation just like the one I just mentioned. I think Kish wins. She presses forward. She throws a lot, has high volume. But Kim is going to be a live dog here at 7,000. Kish is coming up from 115. Kim down from 135. 8-inch reach advantage for Kim. I think she'll be live. She doesn't use her reach very well. But just to style this one, I think they're both going to have a lot of volume. I should correct myself. I didn't bet the over in the Marcos Lima fight. I bet the over in this fight, Kish and Kim. I didn't think Marcos and Lima could go over. It's something I will look at. Haven't bet it as of yet. Kish is probably going to out-volume Kim in a decision here, a close decision. I think it'll be closer than most people think. But Kim at 7,000, again, better chance to pay off her price tag. I'm having a hard time seeing Kish do that at all unless she stops Kim, which I don't see. Kim is 6-1-2 as a pro. I'll take Kim as a preferred play, but again, the pick'em, I'm probably leaning Justine Kish. Vince from Hell, Pichel, 8,100. Joaquim Neto BJJ Silva at 8,100. Silva, despite being from Brazil, he's a striker, guys. Don't let that confuse you. I've seen some commentators say that. I think it was Paul Felder during the Faria fight. Doesn't have takedown, doesn't have grappling because she's Brazilian. And his name is Neto BJJ, which is just odd. Vince Pichel, I think, is going to go out, get takedowns, and really dominate Silva here, shown he can't stop a takedown. He just hits hard. Pichel is not also an aging fighter. Hasn't shown really chin issues as of late, but with how hard Silva throws, he's live in that respect. But because of the grappling upside of Vince Pichel, I'll take him as my preferred play at 8,100, and I think he actually wins the decision here pretty comfortably. Nico Price, 9,000. George Sullivan, 7,200. I know Nico Price isn't good, but George Sullivan is worse. Coming off of back-to-back USADA suspensions, he is just not good, not very active. Price struggled against Luque because Luque was able to back him up. I don't think Sullivan will do that. I think Price has slim advantages on the feet and on the ground. That is not saying much. Price could be overly popular. I might not play a ton of him, but between the two, he's still my preferred play at 9,000. Corey Sandhagen, 8,300 against Arnett at 7,900. Late addition to the card. Sandhagen just fought last Friday. I want to see how he looks from the scales. But as of right now, he is my preferred DraftKings play. He's much more active. He scrambles better. We saw Arnett against Brandon Davis. He struggled a little bit with the aggression there, although that was a fun back-and-forth fight. Arnett also has a bit of a padded record. I'm going to take Sandhagen here because he's more active and he's just a style of fighter I like. But keep your eye on the weigh-ins for this one. He did fight just last week. It is a cautious pick, but I'll take Sandhagen at 8,300. Okay, now as we do every week, jumping over to DraftKings, going to build a GPP as a big field tournament lineup. A couple just basic things to remember that I kind of cover all the time. You want to be different. That means leaving money on the table, look for finishes, try and avoid the really popular fighters. So that being said, let's just build this week. I want to have the main event this week. I'm going to go Derek Brunson at 7,800, especially when you have the underdog in the main event. I think it's usually a pretty good play. I think Bermudez Fili will be popular. Gillespie will be tough to fit in, but I'm going to plug him in for now, keeping in mind I might circle back. Same thing. Eric Koch, as I mentioned in a breakdown, I think green is chinny, and this will really differentiate your lineup. This is definitely a tournament play, and it gives me some salary savings. Going to just scroll through the matchups before I sort by salary. Grappling based, I like Vince Pichel a lot this week because of the grappling upside. So it's the first four. We'll sort by salary for these last two. Something I really want to do this week is leave some money on the table if possible. You know, a different way to look at this week, it may seem counterintuitive. I'm going to see if I can actually get Mirsad Bektic in here, because I don't think a lot of people are going to pay up for both Gillespie and Bektic this week. So Bektic, Pichel, Koch, Gillespie, Brunson so far in the last pick here. You can go Mauro Romero Bella, Juliana Lima, Frank Camacho. I think any of those three are good options here. Leave a little bit of extra money on the table. I know I took Dober as my preferred play. Camacho live and has the power. I'm going to take him for a large field tournament. So Derek Brunson, 7,800. Gregor Gillespie, 9,500. Eric Koch, 7,700. Vincent Pichel, 8,100. Mirsad Bektic, 9,400. Frank Camacho at 7,300. If you want to hold me to what I said in the breakdowns, which, again, you obviously should, just kind of how this lineup construction went, I put it in Camacho. If I take him out, you know, Juliana Lima, who I said even though I'm taking Marcos, I think Lima's got a better chance to pay off her salary. I'll put in her there. And that's the lineup we'll roll with this week. Brunson, Gillespie, Koch, Pichel, Bektic, and Lima. Guys, that's it for UFC Charlotte. Again, please give me a follow on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube page. Both of those are at the DFS Sniper. Good luck in your contest. I will see you next week.